Ready? Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Carnival of Randomites. Zach and I went Christmas shopping today, and guess what? Krampus tried to grab us.
I found a beer.
See, Will is a Jenny's.
But it's still a beer. No product placement.
Fine. So Krampus tried to catch us. So we tried to duck out. We ran into the Hungerford, and we're hiding out here right now at Khaos Design Studios. My friend Kristie Grimble Khaos and her minions.
What is it? Studio 41, I think I saw this.
Kristie, it's on the floor. She'll tell us.
Yeah, on the floor.
And her and all the other artists here. And how would you describe this place, Zach?
Eclectic would be a word. I mean, I'm looking around. I see. I don't even know where to even begin to pick. There's a cat with a pentagram on its forehead. Next to Predator Cat, next to Bats,
and we're actually taping on E.T.'s ass.
Yeah, the microphone's on E.T.'s ass, so don't phone home because he might get a little too excited. But.
And there's all these other things around here too. I don't think you could. I don't know if we'll have pictures up or not. I can't promise you anything.
Yeah, but so here, describe for the people what we're up to. It's First Friday at the Hungerford, which is basically.
It's like every first Friday they have shows. They have a big Halloween show. This is the big Christmas show. And we're in here. We're going to talk to some of the people involved, and hopefully Krampus won't get us for a little while. We can duck out the back.
At least a little while because we can spot him.
Yeah, he won't be too hard to spot. How big? What is the legend behind him?
Well, the legend, according to Germanic folk tradition, he is the evil counterpart to Santa that patrols the villages at night. Stalks the small little evil children, puts them in his sack, beats them with reeds, and then takes them to his cave and eats them.
Why do I think I'm going to hear Santa's sack a lot this December?
Reeds and chains. Well,
I'm supposed to talk to Santa soon, I guess.
I heard rumor to that.
But if we make it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was a good run, wasn't it?
We got a run.
What would you pick out here? Look at the gas mask on.
That's the thing. There's a lot of skulls, gas mask skulls.
Shout out to Liz because there's a human centipede doll over there.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. And I guess I've heard about
Genesee.
Oh, I've heard about the elf on the shelf. Now I did not know.
Yeah, that's.
I guess I never knew this before. Sorry if you've heard this, but I guess he's a magical elf.
Yeah.
And he will give you your wishes. So wish for something big, kids, and see how mommy and daddy loved that elf on the shelf.
Yeah, wish for ponies.
And then after that, they move him every day because if you touch him, he's magic and you will not get anything.
Spoiler alert.
So I'd never known this before.
Yeah, I had no clue, but it's terrifying to me.
There's something creepy about it, isn't it?
There's a lot creepy about it, but
there's spiders on the scene. There's a raven.
Spiders on the scene, skulls and skeletons everywhere. There's a red skull on the desk.
And there's
this place is one of these you have to see it to believe it. So do yourself a favor, get down here.
It's on the bottom floor of the Hungerford.
Yes, bottom floor of the Hungerford, and there's going to be a lot to come because there's going to be people wandering around.
So we should talk to some of the people, and hopefully, if you hear, will he be making noises if he comes for us? Can we pretend?
No, you'll hear the changes.
Are we ugly enough to look like? Will we be the artwork here?
Probably.
And there's brain surgery while you wait.
Brain surgery while you wait, which is a good thing. But yes, but we will hear chains of Krampus. Well, since I'm sitting here drinking the lovely Genesee,
because he's afraid, that would be your last drink if Krampus gets you, I suppose. I think you could do better. So, aren't there any good Christmas beers out this year?
Well, it depends. I mean, I haven't really been looking, but there's always the standard Christmas beers. You have your.
That was a Krampus, was it? That you just fiddling with the
No, that was somebody with a trumpet. No, you have your standard winter warmers, which is just basically spice beer. Harpoon always made a good winter warmer. And then everybody has their own winter shit.
Well, I know.
The problem I have, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw it out there, Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale. Oh, it's Christmas, it's an IPA.
There's one I had, and you know you want to say this. I think I had the worst beer I ever had during Christmas.
Which one?
Worse.
Oh, was it worse than the Castle of Fu Manchu?
Okay, it was just as bad. It was one, and I think it was, can we say the name or they're going to sue us?
No, because it's opinion, we're not advertising.
So it was a Flying Bison seasonal ale. And it was Flying Bison seasonal ale. I remember I got this, and it tasted like a combination of horrible spices, like in vomit. And I literally, this is me and beer in those days. I could not drink it. Somebody tried to swipe it because I just said, take it. I can't. One sip. And I've gotten through some mighty bad beers.
No, I mean, and then Southern Tier always does their.
Oh no, that's not Krampus, is it?
No, just somebody hammering stuff up on the walls for displaying.
You're not hammered, are you? It's
Not yet. No, because the sale is actually going to start pretty soon.
It's just the season to abandon reason. You can get down here, of course. You can get down here next time because
keep an eye on their website.
It's going to be Sunday this week. Keep an eye. Keep an eye.
Oh yeah, there's a show Sunday tomorrow.
There's one tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So if you're hearing this and you're in the area and you want to get some cool art, get down here on Sunday tomorrow.
Now this art is really cool.
But then again, back to the beer. You always have your Southern Tier mix there.
That's what I want.
Oh yeah, beer. It's in the fridge.
Wow, we're talking beer, so.
I knew it was.
What was the Southern Tier Old Man Winter? But a lot of them change their recipe every year, like Brooklyn used to do with their black chocolate stout.
What was the worst one you ever had?
The worst Christmas beer I ever had? Oh Jesus!
No, I don't think
I think it was
I
one of
think
those.
Turned the water into wine. I don't know about beer though.
No, I think it was one of those English beers that were banned for a short period of time because of the labels.
Well, what were the ones
There's like the Naughty Elf,
Naughty Elf, Coal,
Lump of Coal, Santa's Butt, which actually refers to the unit of measurement. The butt, the barrel.
What was the other? I mean, I had one that I know it was old and it was bad.
Yeah, but some of them. They were just too mild and didn't really taste like anything, and they were just kind of muddy tasting.
I mean, Brooklyn chocolate's really not a Christmas beer, is it?
The only reason it's a Christmas beer is because they release it at Christmas time.
If you want to see visions of sugar plums, is it Delirium Nocturne? Which one?
Oh,
the little elephant, big
Yeah,
elephant.
the
with
big elephant has the
Santa
Santa hat. Yeah, Delirium Noel. The Delirium Noel.
And for anybody who wants to know, Canadian Postage issue, they have little stockings with hats on them for Christmas stamps, just in case.
Oh, the
randomly.
stockings, yeah.
Have you seen them yet?
No, I haven't looked yet.
Because before they had what, Christmas Beaver?
Yeah, the Christmas Beaver, the Christmas Cardinals.
But now they have a stocking with a hat on it. Why? Because it's Canada.
Why? Because Canada and reasons.
Yeah. Well, we'll send you ho ho hoing.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that one. A shout out to our dear beloved Tony Mayhem,
rest in
wherever he is,
peace,
because I
man.
know he enjoyed that. Didn't
He was a delirium man.
He wasn't he?
He was the tremens, the delirium tremens,
Yeah.
and the delirium nocturne,
Good
which was the dark.
booze, as he would say. But those were pretty good. But I remember they did ban those beers though.
No, they banned them because the labels were. Some group in Connecticut were upset at the labels because there was like an elf with scissors behind its back. And like naughty elf, so they said they were unfamily oriented. It's like I don't know why kids would be looking at beer labels, but I remember I worked at a beer establishment, and like they would send in people to make sure that we pulled them off the shelves and sent them out the back.
You
for
drink
disposal.
a beer during a podcast, Santa's gonna say you're naughty.
Well, if this is the only reason Santa says I'm naughty, he really hasn't been looking.
Well, that's gonna be your last drink of Krampus gets us. What else can you do?
I've had worse. I've had worse last drinks.
Are we?
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know.
Wait, we're about to do it together. Okay, who do we
Just
got?
have fun. It's all it is.
Whatever's
Promote this stuff. It's easy.
Well, we're here. Who do we got? Say hello.
Kristie and Olivia.
Kristie and Olivia. This
Hi.
is Kristie, your studio.
Yep.
And where is
Well, it's
this?
all of
from?
ours.
Oh.
Yeah, it's our studio.
Where
Yeah.
Sorry,
is
the
the
collective
location
studio.
better because we tried to give it, but we're inept.
No, it's me, Khaos by Design, Olivia, Lidia Juice Customs, and
Okay.
Raven.
Okay, I see.
Hi,
us
Raven,
three.
wherever
So
you
it's
are.
us three. Yeah.
And we're down on the bottom floor of the
Yeah, it's the
Hungerford.
basement. Yeah.
Can you explain the Hungerford a little in these
Yeah.
first Fridays?
Well, the Hungerford is a collective of a bunch of artists, studios, spaces, painters, potters, woodworkers, metalworkers, pretty much everything. We're in the basement. Yeah.
They do theater upstairs too sometimes. Because I've actually been to plays, believe it or not, way up there. There's like a room at the end, way over there, and nobody can see me pointing, but I'm
Yeah,
pointing
oh, yeah.
this way.
Follow the sound of my
And
voice, people.
You have to find it, but they actually have had plays up there too.
No, I don't ever make it out of the basement. Right? they like to keep us down here.
I don't know why.
Well, no, 'cause when I was walking down to the bathroom, I saw the guy with the coffins.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're really cool.
It's like that's-
yeah.
And how would you
Kinda
describe,
sweet.
introduce your name?
What's your artwork?
What's your artwork?
My artwork, so I'm Olivia from Lidia Juice
Lidia
Customs.
Juice Customs on the wall.
And I am a upcycler doll artist. So as of right now, I take unloved dolls and
So,
I repaint them.
terrifying.
and give them a new life.
Yeah,
I mean, they could be cute, they could be
Did
No,
dolls,
they
terrifying.
did dolls become creepy in the 80s?
No, they've been creepy
They
since
become
their
creepy in the
existence.
80s or forever, though, because...
Existence.
And we have to thank you for explaining the elf on the shelf to us, because I didn't know.
Yes.
I only know that because of my love for dolls.
No,
No other
I'm
reason.
one of those people that are affected by the terrifying fear of humanoid type forms, dolls, mannequins.
And is
Well,
it funny
actually-
that we give them to little children?
Yeah.
Yes.
it's-
But don't forget the original fairy tales were made for children, but if you've ever read them,
They're
like the
horrifying.
actual
Yeah, they
Grimm's
are.
fairy
How did you
tales.
both get into this
Yeah,
pursuit?
Well,
well, I mean, I've been metalsmithing for a few years, and I've always kind of did mixed media art with metal, bone. I'm a seamstress, so I work with clothes, and well, I work with fabric to make clothes. I've been in the studio for about 3 years now, so
Never left once.
no,
I live
I
here.
basically live there.
There's a world out
Why
there.
dolls? Why dolls?
Yeah, why
why
dolls?
not? So,
Yeah, please.
I think I always had a love for dolls, and it was like I was getting to the older age where people, like all my friends, like weren't getting dolls anymore, and I was just like, well, this sucks. Like, I still want to play with dolls, so I had to like put them in a box and like never see them again until I was watching some YouTube videos of in Japan they have ball joint dolls, and they're gorgeous. And I just saw one video of somebody hand painting a face, and I thought it was awesome, and I tried it, and the first one was god awful. I never did it again for like 8 years, and then recently I was just like, I'm gonna fucking go for it.
Yeah, actually, what 2 years ago you gave me my doll?
2 years ago I gave
Yeah.
you the first doll I ever made.
And on that,
Oh, what was it?
Of me. It was me. It was a doll of me. Yeah, it was.
She's
It's,
actually on the
Nobody,
top shelf.
okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
nobody ever tried putting a pin in it.
and then
No,
it
I
came to
hope
life and terrorized the Hungerford.
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Did you ever see? I know a few friends of mine. One in particular was into the Living Dead dolls.
You know, those are really, really cool, and it's that brand especially is kind of like my feel for doll art. It's
Yeah,
like
so
taking
that's
something
creepy.
that's really popular.
I think it's Kira Shawn, isn't it? Was it Kira Shawn? Did she do those? Or?
No, I don't think. I think she
Living
does
Dead.
her own kind of thing, but Living Dead dolls was like a big brand.
They were kind of like Cupid-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one I
Didn't
creepy
Hot
was
Topic like
Yeah, I
Of
think
course,
they,
yeah.
corner that
the-
market?
The other one I
for a
could talk
time,
about
yeah.
is Rita Mortis, so like these undead bears and everything. I gave one for Christmas.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're cool. It's all I remember is Rita
Were they like
Mortis.
keychains?
Yeah.
Yes,
Rita
yes. I
Mortis
had
and
the
the other one.
masturbation one.
Someplace you.
Where his hand was like down his
See,
pants
those
and he
are
was
the
cross-eyed.
and-
This is
Oh my
totally
gosh.
off the wall, but in Chile they have a doll hospital, and it looks like
I've seen that.
and it looks
Nice.
like
I've driven. I
it
thought
says,
there was
"Is
a
your
Bushville
doll sick? We
station.
can help you." And then I always figure you go
Yeah.
in there and there are people like House of Wax who are the dolls now.
That's creepy.
That sounds amazing. I need
But
to
how
go
would you
there.
describe your art, Kristie? Because I can't. I love it.
Yeah, I tried to, but I don't want to do it an injustice with my words.
Well, like I said, a lot of my stuff is like I started off doing mixed media. I started off like not making dolls, but remaking dolls like when I was a kid.
So terrifying.
What was
yeah,
like your
yeah.
first piece that you recall?
Oh my gosh, I
Well,
don't
something
even know.
close. You're like me.
I'm probably a taxidermy bird that I put in a cage a long time ago that I repurposed, and then I started doing placenta pieces where people give me their placenta and I preserve it and put it in a jar and I make the jar look really cool, so you can actually see into it and see the
Wow.
placenta, I love doing that.
So I'm going to assume you'd be a fan of the the Mutter Museum down in
Oh my
Philadelphia.
god, yes.
Oh, I
yes,
went down there
absolutely.
when I was down there once.
It's
If
like-
you don't know what the Mutter Museum
It's like a
is,
museum of medical curiosities and
Oh, it's
oddities.
like oddities.
I
It's
love
like
that.
yeah,
A huge
it's the
building
Museum
of
of
just specimens and weird shit.
That's so neat.
Only problem is it's in Philadelphia. And growing up in Pittsburgh, fuck
Well,
you,
for
Philadelphia.
me, driving around there is horrifying. Even I complain about drivers here, then I go to Phil and Rochester.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Namaste.
Really, it must be really bad.
terrible.
It's really literally. I park. Find somebody you know. Park by where they live. Do not drive. Take the car home or anything like that. The other thing is, do you have any influences?
Influence.
I'm influenced by metal, like
I
textures.
would never have known that.
Well, no, I mean like
I thought you meant like
no, like
Slayer.
the
Don't worry, we have somebody coming through.
Gifts.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, come on back though. This is part of the. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Fashion. I'm influenced by fashion. I'm influenced by.
Anything really?
Yeah, really anything. Yeah.
It's cool though.
Yeah.
But these events are always really fun. After the Halloween. Whoa, what is this?
Whoa!
Port Royal rum.
Oh, he's making eggnog.
I was gonna say nothing says happy holidays like the plastic handle.
That's the only way to make eggnog
Andrew
though.
over here so you can talk.
Well, I actually just got my grandfather that handle of. Oh wait, he'll probably actually listen to this, but I got him a handle of bourbon in a plastic bottle.
Okay, Pappy, don't listen to that.
Bert, ignore. I don't forget
But
it.
the one thing we want to make sure is have everything come down and on Sunday you have something.
Yeah,
to do.
what's
This
going on
tomorrow
Sunday?
Okay, so in the studio we also harbor the Gothic Garage Sale. Andrew, he's a couple doors down, but I have his stuff in here. And we have a art show on Sunday at Talking Heads Salon, which is on St. Paul.
It is on St. Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. So it's gonna be like Christmas shopping stuff. You can come in, see the salon, buy stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I'm coughing. Zach beer burped on me.
Oh gosh. That's not
That's
very
my
nice.
product. That's the problem. Oh my goodness. sakes.
Let me
It's not
grab
that
him,
bad.
see if he wants
All
to
right.
talk about his friends.
Yes.
So,
Is it on?
Yep.
Gothic Garage Sale. He's in our studio also.
Hello.
Hello, Andrew.
How's it going?
What do you do? Explain yourself.
Yeah.
I'm an artist, picker, and a hoarder.
Not
and,
here, no. I will never.
No, I mean, I've been collecting stuff for many, many years in this building actually for like over 20 years. So I'm like trying.
And what
In the
is-
process of trying to get rid of it, I've been, working with people to, for stuff like this, for the studio.
And what are some of your hoarded things that you're?
Oh, lots of you can see a lot of the religious memorabilia, like, the old Catholic stuff.
I was wondering where the terrifying old school crucifix came
Yeah,
from.
yeah, that's
You ever
for
go
me.
to a Hell House? I guess they have them like down by sort of near Buffalo, where they scare people straight.
I've heard of them, yeah.
They're really, if you see, there's
Yeah.
a documentary on them, and they're really sort of
They're actual things.
Yeah, I love haunted house decorations and stuff like that for sure. And I've been like that since I've been,
But did you ever go to any haunted houses that really got you and said, "Wow, this pulled me in"? Besides my basement, if you've ever been
Yeah,
there.
I think they try too hard now. They just, I've been to the haunted hay rides and stuff like that. But now they kind of.
I agree,
I'm sure
too.
the Hell House ones are probably really scary. But I'd be too if somebody was jumping in my face, I'd be too likely to just punch them in the face out of a
I had
reaction.
that.
So,
I was at the.
and I wouldn't want to do that to them.
No, I had that when they did the thing at Madame Tussauds, and they said they had the people who were doing this, but your natural reaction, and of course you couldn't see I tried to punch Jack.
Yeah.
But you just go, okay, they're not going to touch people. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old ones were fun. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's that sense of fun to them.
Yeah, I to me it was theatrical. Now it's more just
It's more
shocking.
Yeah,
trying to be
it's
shocked.
jump scares,
Yeah, it's jump scares. And it's
which takes away.
I remember as a kid, I used to love every haunted house I ever went in, including the ones with the jump scares. But the jump scare wasn't the main thing.
Yeah, it was the occasional thing. But more, it was just
Yep.
when I turn this corner, is there going to be something there? We
Yeah.
don't know. There might
Yeah,
be.
and if you're expecting it, you're probably not. You're a lot less scared of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our professor of clownomics that comes to the podcast.
Yeah, we
Relic
gotta
of
talk-
Chaos the Clown.
we gotta talk to them
And he
again.
actually does a horror camp now.
Will
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a little different because that's sign a waiver, hands-on, duct tape to tree, kidnapping.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm not.
I see. I love the decor. That's me. That's why I do the Vertex Gothic Garage Sale twice a year now. And I'm helping out with a curiosity shop that's part of a hair salon right now
Yeah, they were
over around St. Paul Street.
mentioning that, and there's a show
Yep.
Sunday.
Sunday we
It'll
got
be
our
for
show, yeah.
tomorrow by the
You
time
know
you guys
the
hearing
address
this.
of that? Because St. Paul Street's kind of fun. Oh, he's gonna go get the info because I
Yeah, he's got
It's right next door to Tapas. And it is. This is the address right here. I'll give you the.
Yeah, I'll grab 1 second.
It is
I'll post-
179 St. Paul.
179 St. Paul. I'll post that down below.
And we sort of know Vertex since we've been there.
And
but- well, I've been there.
you been to the Vertex Garage Sale?
I've been to Vertex.
Oh, Vertex, yeah. I've been a Vertex member for over 20 years now, so regular there.
Yeah, I've heard all about
it's
it. I
like-
think everybody I know is going to
Yeah.
it. Actually, if you see the little invites and everything.
Oh yeah, the
We'll
garage
put it
sales
up
are
on
just
the
fun
site,
because
too.
it's a community garage sale. It's a community for us weirdos, that just
And it
like
also
that like
gives
the
my
weird shit.
horrible joke. I've never bought in a garage at one yet.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
There's no garage there, too. That's the
everything-
ironic thing.
Yeah, everything's for
Well,
sale. except
sidewalk
the
sale,
garage.
same thing. I always do that. I take my bad humor where I can.
Yard sale.
But how
Yard
can they
sale.
get it? People are interested in your stuff, and you have a
Yeah,
thing
you-
they can go find, site, just come here, the one, yada
Oh yeah, you
yada.
can contact me online. I post on both Instagram and on Facebook.
And what's this thing? Do you know it offhand?
Well, on Instagram it's Vertex Gothic Garage Sale, and I'm also Space Skull on Instagram.
We'll put these up.
Yeah, we'll find it.
We'll find it.
And
I know
what
what
I
I'm
also
doing.
do, but it's also the Vertex. We don't call it the Gothic Garage Sale anymore. We call it the Late Risers Alternative and Gothic Garage Sale now,
I like that.
because we want to open it up to not just Gothic stuff. So we got a lot of punks, we got a lot of
So anything off the wall.
artists,
Well, Vertex
weirdos.
is hard to
like
describe
everybody
because
else.
I think it's sort of a mix like that. It's when I've been there, it's really a mixed crowd like
It is a
that.
mixed crowd, yeah. I mean, it really is the people that don't feel comfortable a lot of other places, or the people that just want to go and just someplace dark and
little more
have some cheap beers and some
Being a
cheap drinks and some
historian
good
a little
food.
bit, I always
and-
bring stuff back in the day
Yeah.
because I'm
Oh,
ancient.
man.
It reminds me of a little bit, just a little of Club X
Oh yeah, yeah.
because that's how
There was
I
a lot of
remember.
crossover with that place. I mean, actually, I think it was in the same location for a while.
We would hear
Yeah.
Nick Cave or Bauhaus. And my friend Brendan worked there for a while, and he came out. He dyed his hair silver. Came out like a smoking jacket,
Yep.
and nobody ever judged anybody. You could
No.
be yourself. With some of these other places I don't go to, and you go in there and people stick their nose up or.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, no matter where you go, there's going to be some people that are going to be like pissy and like, what are you doing here? And because it is such an enclave, Vertex, some people can be a little scared because they themselves probably when they first went there were like, oh, this is a good place for me, I can hide. But you know what? For the most part, the people there are super friendly,
Well, like
and
us
super
hiding
nice.
from Krampus down here.
Yeah. And they're really like the people at Vertex. No, they're chill. They're just and they're interesting, And you can have an interesting conversation.
You do have interesting
with
parties
anybody
here too. Like I had the night before Christmas party.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, they got some good DJs, and they're always getting new people in and out. And it's
Well, I know Ariel.
Ariel.
Ariel Whitney. I think she was there for a while, and she's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
DJ
NYC.
Dark something.
DJ Darkwave on Saturdays has been the longest running DJ at Vertex, and they got Silver Crash on Fridays, and then Eric, which I think it goes by DJ No Name, on Thursdays. But he's like, Thursdays is actually like the fun night to go when you just want to just hang out at the bar.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because it's just the owner, that sits at the downstairs bar, and they usually have food there on Fridays and Saturday nights.
After you come here, go down to Vertex afterwards.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why not? That's a Hungerford.
It sounds like
Vertex.
perfect being Carnival of Randomness. This is a little random.
I know, it's off the wall.
It's totally random. That's why I like that place. It's like it's not the same as it used to be, but yeah, I still love it. There's still going to be somebody I know there. There's still going to be, and
That's what I like.
I don't
some
like
places.
most bars I can't go into.
I don't either anymore.
Yeah, actually,
because-
I find jock bars scary.
No, I do too, obviously. And I have the thing
I'd
where I
rather
go
go into
to a couple bars and they proof me when
Much rather go to a biker bar than a jock bar.
Why would too?
I'd rather just stay home and drink.
It's a lot cheaper. That's for
Bathrooms
sure.
are usually cleaner. Usually.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know either.
I can't attest to that.
Yeah, well, it depends on what I've had the night before. Well, there you go. So don't forget, we'll be posting this stuff underneath. You get down there tomorrow, Sunday, by the time you hear this,
You get to Vertex.
and get to Vertex.
It's a Vertex.
And most of the time here, also, we have bands here a lot of times. Like for the Halloween one, we've been a lot of bands, including our very own Grease Creepers. If you go to our site, they have released an album called Say Creepy. You can download it for free. Usually they have bands here, but for this time of Christmas they're not, I think, because Krampus ate them. But go check it out.
Did you hear the jingle bells earlier? You want to think it could be Santa, but it might be a trap.
Could be, but they played here, and the new album is probably unfortunately going to be their last. But if you go to our site and go to Grease Creepers, it's free.
Get them on Facebook.
It's very free. Tommy may be roaming around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Krampus may have ate him.
Well,
But otherwise, he'll be back on the show down the line.
if Krampus didn't.
And Howlin' too, if he didn't get it either.
Yeah, at some point they will return, provided it's not out of Krampus's lower
House
GI
Majority
tract.
is played here. We may have them on in the future. And remember, the Bob's in there. We know bobbing for music.
Oh, yes. We were there. We were there for that. Everything's going to tie together at the end, you'll see.
And we being random, Just pick a piece out and say something about it. Then we'll go talk to the people.
Pick a piece out. I could focus on the
Anything.
dolls. Well, there's a skull and looks like almost a bedazzled or bejeweled gas mask.
That's what he.
Now, you look over at the shelf and it's underneath looks like a set of water buffalo horns,
Oh, that's it.
but it looks like a skull.
Well, the
and a
most
gas
horrifying
mask.
thing I see in there is remember the movie The Human Centipede?
Yeah,
There's a little
unfortunately.
doll over on the shelf over there.
Yeah,
It's a centipede.
I did see that.
So that's
And it's a baby doll. And I've made my thoughts on dolls clear very
yes,
much
and this
before
one is. It's a centipede sort of doll. Maybe you'll see it online. I don't know. Because
Hopefully not.
I don't know if you want to take any pictures. It's Krampus going to hear you take them or
That's the
something.
thing. Yeah.
So,
But-
yeah.
And then there you look over this Cthulhu thingy. A little
Oh,
closer.
there he is. I didn't even see him. I see brain surgery while you wait if you want to wait afterwards and get that done.
It'd be a short surgery.
Now we're seeing people walk around in ranger areas too.
Yes. Alright, recording. Hello.
I was staring at the eyes with the top hat, and luckily you had been saved from being hypnotized by hello.
Hi, I'm Katrina. I also go by Katface, and my shop is Katface and Curio.
Oh, yeah, I think you know our friend Caitlin Yarsky. Because she said, because I was asking about, oh, talk to Katface.
Yeah.
And I can't fit me. So, hi, Caitlin. Hello. But, and what do you do here?
Yeah, so what is your art motif, as it were?
Well, I make a lot of weird things. I go from,
No, not here.
No.
Of course. I'm a tattoo apprentice, so I do have a lot of prints of just strange tattoo designs, anything from daggers to potions
Do you have a
to
favorite or
strange
anything, or
things.
have you done anything? Take a look at some of his too, because
Yeah,
I'm scared of
Oh
needles.
wow!
So
I know I hate needles, anything that goes in or out, but
Right, but
tattoos are
because it doesn't go into you. That's
a
what
little bit
gets me,
better.
because I can't watch like ER because of
Yeah,
items.
I'm not too good with gore, but besides that, I do that whole print thing, and then I make jewelry out of anything from taxidermy, like skunk paws, to weird little trinkets and fruit and shells and just weird things in general.
There's one randomly here, taxidermy skunk paw.
Oh, you
There's
know,
websites.
yeah. I mostly get things from people like that find roadkill. Everything's ethically sourced, so I'm not gonna go out
So
and
then I
kill
got
something
harvest
for
this
it.
skunk.
I actually
No.
saw a skit one time where people came in trying to be serious about they wanted to taxidermy their grandma,
Oh.
and they freaked. No, it was fake, but
Okay.
they were going
Because
on about
there's
it,
laws
freaking
about
the
that.
people out.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, but I've seen those. They all ethically source them, either roadkill or natural causes.
Yeah, I think basically everything that I make that's taxidermy wise, I think the animals should be respected and honored and recycled
How
and
did you
not
get
killed
into
for
this?
it.
This
Yeah,
like,
where'd that
where
come
did the
from?
interest come from?
I mean, I always grew up around woods, so I've always seen animals everywhere. I always thought they were beautiful. I liked the idea of taxidermy and kind of having animals live on through it, and then kind of making it a beautiful thing, such
We had a
as
pheasant,
jewelry and
actually.
wearable
We had a
things.
pheasant from my Doberman ate it. Yes, but it was taxidermy, and I don't think she could have heard it, but no.
Yeah, mostly just always been into weird things, weird art.
What are some of your pieces here?
Yeah, what do you?
Well, I've got a few taxidermy things of skunk paws and things like that so far. Some vertebrae. I'm gonna get in some raccoon paws, some squirrel paws, other things coming in soon. But the rest is just kind of leftover things like little fruit, shells, strange little bells.
Ah,
Are you
we
gonna
can
be
hear
at
that.
Are you gonna be at the thing on Sunday?
I may. I know I had a lot of work, but
Well, if you could get down there and buy
Well,
a
you'll be here
taxidermy
tomorrow too.
raccoon
Yeah.
paw.
This will probably be on in the morning tomorrow.
Oh,
And if
wonderful.
Krampus grabs us or not.
Well, I can run faster than you. No, I can't.
No, you can't. Actually.
That's a lie. I'm lying.
No, we're safe because he's the slowest. So we don't.
I don't know. I'm not very fast myself.
Well, you don't got to be faster than him. You just got to be faster than me.
Yeah, that's all. Everything. But I really like all this stuff.
Yeah.
over here. Cool. And how is people gonna? You have a site?
Yeah,
you have a site? How do we get a hold of you if you want to buy this
Yeah,
glorious?
so I actually just made an Etsy for
I
everything.
was just gonna ask. Do you have an Etsy store?
Yeah, I do. I just made it after First Friday. Whatever I have left, I'm just gonna stock it up there. But it's Katface Curio, so Curio like curiosities.
It'll be underneath.
For the
Cat
Luddites like me,
okay.
what is Etsy?
Etsy, I think basically Etsy is kind of like an online storefront for independent artists, basically. It'd be the best way I could describe it. I know
Pretty much.
my brother-in-law used to do that for, he did hand-painted, like, skulls. that he had an Etsy store. Everybody has an Etsy store except us.
The best thing about Etsy is if you can think of it, you can probably find
Yeah,
it.
it's
That's what
there.
I like it.
It's
My
there.
view on art in general really is, if I like it, that's it. And I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Nobody should be, oh, well, this is done during the Doric period, which is architecture. I think anyway. So if you like it, you like it. Ah, somebody's. Hello.
I'm gonna contact you. Alright?
I know.
I gotta find out if she's even where I
No.
Oh, it's that. So go back. Have,
Well,
Get back
thank you
there.
I'm
guys.
glad the cat dragged you in. No, I don't want to catch you on it, so make sure you do something. Thanks a lot, though.
Thank you,
Thank you. Good luck.
guys.
Catface Curio on Etsy. You'll find it.
I was looking at all the art, and I admit I'm not an expert. I really like this. It looks like not my nightmare by dreams. But what's your thoughts on it in terms of?
Well, it's the really old adage of I don't know art, but I know what I like. I remember years ago I was in Tampa. I went to the Salvador Dali Museum. I like Dali. I have a couple books on Hieronymus Bosch. I'm a fan of him because he does. No, that's his nephew Chris. No, Hieronymus Bosch is. I can't even describe him. You know who he is.
I
He
know
does like all
exactly,
those
yeah, I know
weird
exactly.
Gothic animal, like the pig nun and the bird with the
This
chamber
man,
part
I
on his
forgot his
head.
name too now, of course, because we're doing a podcast, so of course I forgot the name. But he did a lot of fairy structures in the 19th century. He murdered his parents, he murdered his dad, he was in an asylum. When we do this art, it was all fairy art, so that was kind of interesting.
But that's the thing, like, I mean, I can see why people will learn it to appreciate it through, like, oh, this was the, you know, during Picasso's blue period or whatever the hell it was, but I just know what I like. I like Dali's The Melting, was he The Melting Clocks?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
I like Egon Schiele, who was an Austrian artist, lived from 1890 to 1918 only. You see him sometimes on little book cards in museums and stuff.
I probably know him.
I like Monet. I think he's very almost three-dimensional when you do it. And I do like Van Gogh. Everybody, that's like a typecast thing.
Or
Everybody
Van
says
Gogh, as apparently.
Van Gogh. Everybody seems to be interested in his life, and I've read books on him. He was not a very nice guy. He had his own problems.
Pederast.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, pederast, syphilitic, and he's buried somewhere in Polynesia, I think.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Or no, that was Gauguin.
Oh,
Sorry,
that was
Gauguin,
Gauguin.
my
yeah.
fault.
No, Vincent, I don't
Apologies
think
to
did
Van Gogh.
stuff. But yeah, that was Paul Gauguin. Gauguin was
Yeah,
all-
Gauguin was the pederast.
But I do like Van
syphilitic.
Gogh's work. There's a theory about his mind that he saw vibrant colors, that there's something in his brain.
They have speculated that.
But that's art. Here, if you want to see really cool art, come down to the Hungerford, come to the studio, come to all the people we talked to.
Go to the show tomorrow and then hit up, what was it, the Vertex?
Yes.
I don't know, the
It's Sunday, that's the
Talking Heads Hair Parlor and Curio Shop show on
But you
St.
can
Paul.
come down to the Hungerford if you hear this today. Come on down. It's open.
Yeah, it's open, because this will come up in the morning. It'll be open for second Saturday and then their show tomorrow on Sunday.
And you will see things you've never seen before. I promise you that.
Oh.
You're really different.
No, you will see things you've never seen before. The old,
Hi, just looking at
the creepy
the
dolls.
doll with the wings, but yeah, we have another member of the studio
You are?
here. Hello.
My name's Tom.
Tom? And what do you, art style wise?
In terms of art, I paint a lot of pop culture stuff, a lot of horror culture stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you have an influence, like
I like
period
horror
of horror that you like more than others?
No, I kind of like a lot of the classic horror stuff, and I like the Twilight Zone a lot. So
Is
I
it
try
like
to-
Universal Monster era or
Universal-
60s or 70s slasher?
well,
Unfortunately,
the 70s Hammer era is the best.
oh, that's
Hammer.
incredible.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it because I'm blanking. It's the holiday season. We have Krampus after us. But the artist who did the art for Famous Monsters of Filmland, the cover art.
Yeah, there were actually a few of them.
Yeah.
There were a few of them, and their work's beautiful. They actually
Incredible.
there's two books you can get with the artists that did those, and they're called the name of the book is called Sex and Horror, and you can find it on Amazon, and yeah, a lot of beautiful artwork in there.
What's your Hammer favorites? Do you have a specific?
Twins of Evil. Twins of Evil is my all-time favorite.
What's it about?
That's a throwback.
It's about these two twins. It takes place in like the Victorian Gothic era, and one is a little bit more easily influenced than the other one. So she kind of takes to this guy who's like this just kind of this dark fate that lives around them, and she ends up being, bitten by him because it turns out he's a vampire, of course. And then what ends up happening is this, this kind of takes place, as a lot of their stuff does, in the same time that like the Blair Witch kind of stuff. So a lot of everyone was accusing the wrong sister of witchcraft. So they're like, well, if you burn her, we'll find out. We'll know that she's a witch. And I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. I don't want to give too much away. But definitely, you can watch it for
I think
free
Terrence
on YouTube.
Fisher too is so underrated as a director for so many of the various things. And somebody one time for the holidays, hope Krampus gets her, was gave me a hammer pack with a movie called The Snorkel on it.
That's what you get for that damn slasher pack you won't make.
The Snorkel
Wait till you see this year's gift. That's all I'm
Previews,
gonna say.
scary.
I wrecked it.
Do you have a favorite Universal monster? We've asked everybody this over here of horror episodes or anything.
I guess I would have to go with Frankenstein only because the story is beautiful behind Frankenstein. It's if you watch like the Boris Karloff version, it's really it says a lot about like kind of like the death of innocence and stuff. It's really there's so many layers to that.
There's a lot
It's not just a monster movie.
I finally read the book too, and there's a lot of imagery like Mount Europe, and the whole idea that it's almost all he had to do was take responsibility. He wanted to create life so badly, he forgot almost, wow, I created life. What's my responsibility?
Right.
And it has all those questions, and as we know, the creature in the book is intelligent.
Right.
But Karloff didn't want to talk, but he does so beautifully.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, and the Bride was amazing too.
I think it's one of the best, not just one of the best horror movies, one of the best movies.
That's what I've seen.
Because
the
in a weird
Bride's,
way, it is a romance movie.
But I guess that for Son of Frankenstein, that's why they went back to making him. These Karloff is not the hammer because he did so much for physically and everything else.
yeah.
So you paint like in that if there's one universal monster or anything that you would want to paint the most, who would you?
It's Frankenstein. I do like a Frankenstein. I do one big Frankenstein every single year.
Is that I'm looking at the Frankenstein?
No, that's a small one. So I'll
He's looking over here right now, so
I'm gonna
he's
check
looking
into my
over here.
inventory real quick. So
things.
this is one of the Frankensteins I painted.
Oh,
in
look
the
at that!
past.
Damn.
And I usually paint something like that. I
That's
might
incredible.
I might change the background a little bit, or I might do something a little bit different with the tones. But every year I try to paint a different
I
Frankenstein.
think Zach's gonna.
Well, there you go. And I'm just gonna throw it. Is that
Peridou.
Land of Peridou, Paradux.
Yep.
As an Etsy shop, I'll post it there.
Yes, we'll make
Look
sure.
for the. It's a beautiful Karloff Frankenstein's monster.
And we don't say this lately. That's really
That
incredible.
that is beautiful.
You like Christopher Lee's Dracula, obviously. I think he's the be all and end all of Dracula. Have you heard his metal album?
Yeah. It's incredible. It's
That's the
incredible.
thing.
Was he like 90 when he
Yeah,
did it?
89, 90 when he did it, and
He was a spy. His life is
I think he was the only man to be knighted without kneeling because of his age. They did not require him to kneel. He stood there.
And I guess
Prince
he came up
Charles
from
knighted him.
Dumbledore and Harry Potter after Richard Harris died, but they figured I think he would have been great. I'm not a
He
huge
would have
Harry
been
Potter
great. He
fan.
would have been great reading a phone book.
Oh, he was incredible.
But now your thoughts on Karloff's Frankenstein versus De Niro's in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
A lot of people give that movie a hard
I
time,
liked it
but I thought it was great. I mean,
did
it was
too.
a little cheesy at times. It was a little
It was.
cliche.
He was more accurate, actually.
I think
It was
because
more accurate to the
you're
book,
sewing
right.
bodies together, he's going to look like that, not the big with the bolts in the
He
neck.
talked to it. I mean, he was in. And I guess the idea of him talking comes from when he's hiding by the cabin. He hears Plutarch's Lives and a couple other classical books. That's where he forms his ethics from.
Yep. Yeah. No, I thought it was great.
Christopher Lee did not like playing him.
No.
And then
Peter Cushing is Dr. Well, he played Van Helsing. But
Sneaking by.
There's Kristie.
So is that pretty much predominantly what you do? Is the horror?
yeah, I try to every once in a while I'll try to get into like some occult stuff and try to just stretch my mind to find some personal stuff and try to make it look pretty. Try to mess around with different kinds of symmetrical values and stuff like that. You just
Stuff is gorgeous. I've seen. I'll tell you.
No, and I'm not like because I have no artistic talent in me whatsoever, and I could
And I
only.
think there's a beauty in those old horror stories too, where there's like tragedy. The monster's not some mental.
Yeah,
like,
because the monster
cycle
isn't
going
the
around.
villain in the most part. Like Frankenstein's monster was not the villain.
One of the ones I always like was Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the monsters wanted to be left alone,
Yeah.
and then they intruded on them, took them away.
And that's,
The creature never asked to be born, and he got abandoned.
yeah. But are you going to be at the thing Sunday? Show Sunday?
Yep, I will be there.
All right, there you go. There's another one to look for. Now,
I'll
hairdo.
have my paintings there too. It won't just be prints. So
Oh, nice. So actual paintings. So,
I thought that was Krampus. Just some guy
guy with reindeer. So bust out the wall. Let's get down there tomorrow. Buy some horror stuff. Tom, thanks, man.
thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, we'll make sure we.
No, I'm not good on radio. Thank God you got my picture, huh?
Well, that's I got the
Well, that
voice for the face for radio and the voice for silent movies.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
we're joined by, and what's your name?
Don Scumming.
Don. And I was walking down earlier and I saw your shop. You do the work with the caskets.
Yes, we do.
Where'd that come from? What's
Well, we're part of St. Joe's House of Hospitality, and it's
Just
a-
Olivia's sneaky glass.
and what happened is the people that are on the streets are being buried in cardboard boxes. So we went to a funeral where one of our friends was laid out in a cardboard box. 2.5 years ago, I said, why can't we make caskets and do a training event?
Don't they do that? I remember in New York City, they almost like before St. Washington, they would just have like, it was sad. It was almost like a dump. They just put bodies with like mass graves almost or something.
Well, they stack them on top of each other in New York City when they bury them. But what we do, we don't really deal with the funeral parlors. What we try to do is have a training program where we take guys off the street, we put them housing first, then we get them to the shop and learn how to use all kinds of hand tools. Wherever you do it in a trade, you need hand tools.
What does it go about making a coffin? How do caskets?
Well, I mean, in industry, caskets are they're very, very expensive. Okay, and what it is, it's like we take the homeless that need a casket. These guys might have slept with them people the same thing on the subway. We made one last year for a guy that passed away. I couldn't get 5 guys together quick enough. I mean, these guys just came right in and said, we're going to do it, and we did it overnight.
I think it's nuts when somebody does this as a passion or does it for something they care about. They learn a skill too.
Exactly.
and that's the thing. It's a trade.
It's a trade. Because every tool, I mean, look at you've done woodworking. Anybody's done woodworking. You use a lot of different type of tools. So there's one guy that didn't even do anything with hand tools. He manages apartment complex now. There you go. But he knows how to run drills, levels, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and on. So this, in the woodworking business, you learn everything with hand tools. What hand tool don't you use in woodworking?
And that's amazing because then you have skills for so many different things too.
By doing this.
Yes.
Use a drill press today, a planer tomorrow,
And especially in this day and age, it's becoming a lost art.
And I have to talk
I think it really is.
about the cost of caskets. Years ago, my professor, his mother passed away, and his relative had come in from Chicago. And they went through the whole process, and they were trying to get hope sold. Finally, they just said, look, Mom, we love you, but put her in a box.
Yeah.
Because it was just so hellacious about how much it cost.
Yeah,
and all this
Well,
stuff.
that's things. Like how a program works like this. For $700, a person can come in and buy a casket. Okay, that insures our program. For $1,200, you buy one for yourself and buy one for an innocent. And it keeps our program.
And it gives people some dignity too. It's like this was a person, this is not just a disposable.
Well, I got a
item.
story I could tell you about 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, this lady
So you're gonna be
buried
on Sunday too?
mother, father, brother, sister. All in the month. No, she passed away. The neighbor come and found out about Memorial's Co-op, came in and said, I gotta help. I went and helped carry caskets. Nobody left in the casket. So I didn't want it, but she donated $700 to our program, and I finished the one. She liked redwood. I stained it redwood. You get what I mean? Just to make it personal for the person.
A nice final send-off.
See, I didn't make no money there. I volunteer.
It's just,
I was in this building 30 years ago.
People get involved with this if they're interested. Or
Yeah, I would, yeah.
how do we get the?
Well, if you go under Memorial's Co-op,
Memorial's Co-op. I actually saw the signs coming downstairs.
We'll make sure we get the info.
Oh, there
you
you
get
go.
it from me.
This is easy. Thank you.
Okay, and yes, that's our work number. That's my private.
All right, so I'll
We'll
post,
put this
I'll post
on
this
the
up there, and so people can see it.
Beautiful.
And then hopefully somebody out there who has some skill or wants to learn a skill and help people at the same time.
Exactly. I love it.
And you know what? And it's a skill that you're going to use more often than you think.
Well, actually, you want to know something? I really hate to say it, but it's evident. It's relevant. It's just what's going to happen to everybody.
Yeah, it is.
But a lot of people would, shy away from it.
What do they say? The only two sure things are death and taxes.
Yeah,
especially in the modern world, and when people passed away back, I was actually just reading a book where the lifespans, obviously, the Roman Empire, they're talking about Julius Caesar, when he hit 50. You're really old if you've been living that long.
Yeah.
So now 50's like,
yeah,
50 over the hill. Old man? They call you old man.
Exactly.
I'm 60. They call me old man. Right. But what I'm saying, that I think what it is it gives people dignity and learn how to use hand tools. Because actually that art is still there, but everybody don't know it. If you work for a cable company, you got to learn how to run crank tables, don't you? Right. You got to learn how to strip wire. Yeah. You got to learn how to do something.
There's a story my neighbor used to tell all the time. I used to cut his lawn. He was a Korean War vet, couldn't lift his arms. The highovers had to do it. He was a screw machine operator. He used to say, if you have a box as big as fishing tackle, you learn this, you can work anywhere in the country.
Exactly. Hand tools. That's what I make my living by doing handyman work. You know what I mean? That's how I make my living. Then it's by all the little hand tools. I've been doing it 30 years, and I hope I've helped you.
Yeah, and you know what?
And we want to help you. I think we really like it.
And
really.
So
I've got
for those
more for you to have, if you want to see exactly how it works, I got more brochures.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
you can stop by.
Yeah, we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, and then for people listening that want to do it, come down, get involved. It's a good cause.
Yes, it is.
And how do they look? How do they look over there? I'm going to see them before we go.
Like, because I was walking by and I was like, and I thought it was like one that you got from a funeral home.
Or the Krampus.
Because that's how good it looked. I thought, like, oh, they got one from a funeral home. They're doing something with it. Well, you guys made that.
Yeah, we made that.
Yeah,
It was kind of funny when Halloween. I was going to put it out here so they
do a big
thing with it. And do the Halloween thing with it.
But it looked legit, like they got it from a funeral parlor.
Yeah, we take pride in it. We have
absolutely.
One guy loves staining, and then he gets right on it. I mean, don't leave him alone.
Yeah. No,
That's his passion.
Zach will learn, and Ollie will do a carnival of
that's it. I mean,
And also what our program does too. If you have say you're in a group of guys that wanted to have one of your friends passed away, you're on the baseball team. You want to come down and build a castle, let's say.
exactly. At that personal touch, somebody that meant a lot to you.
Right. Even if they wanted the liner out of a thing that they say the Buffalo Bills fan or whatever.
Yeah, like an old jerseys.
Jersey, whatever they wanted it made out of.
I
We'll try
had
to
a
accommodate.
friend's father buried. His mom was buried with the bingo dauber. His father was buried with a pack of smokes because that's what they were in.
Exactly.
We had one person that had three cats that had the ashes. And then they, in a way, the funeral parlor is not supposed to put them in there.
Yeah, there's like technically rules about it.
Right.
But he gave them to me, I went over and, okay, there you go.
This is right around Franklin Sinatra's birthday. They buried him with a bottle of Jack Daniels, and they buried him also with a bunch of dimes because he never wanted to run out of money to make a phone call.
Yep. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to a gypsy funeral.
No.
They put money in the casket. And they take it with them, right?
Yeah.
Well, like they did across the
I don't
river
know.
Styx.
Yeah, well, that's the coins over the eyes to pay the toll.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you ain't going.
That's a good
That
one.
was very interesting.
All right, Don, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
I think Krampus got Raven. It's Kristie. If you could say a couple things about Raven and stuff.
In memoriam from Krampus.
Yeah, right. Krampus definitely got her. I think she took a nap and he found her.
And she's my whiskey expert too, so she may be on the carnival sometime to talk about this. But if she survived, but Kristie, you used to say a little bit, then you could wrap it up and get on your way.
She's our third roommate, and she's a painter, so she paints on tile and wood and pretty much anything that she can find. She's awesome. She's a bartender at Skylark.
Yes, and she's very good at whiskey. I know.
Oh yeah,
this show very well.
she will get you messed up for sure.
Oh yeah, she will. I love all of this. I love her drinks and I love her art too.
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
If she has a website, we can find it. If you don't know what it is, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't quite know what it is, but she
We want to
has a
leave before
Facebook.
Krampus gets us, so we don't want to be
Yeah.
in your way. So
Yeah.
can we wrap? It's been really
Oh, yeah.
fun.
Yeah, give us some
Yeah, thank you so much for
What's the
stopping by.
information for you
Tomorrow,
and everything here?
The studio is Studio 41. We're in the basement of the Hungerford, 1115 East Main Street.
It's a big
And we
building.
do first Friday every month, first of the month.
there you go.
And second Saturdays also. So, yeah, that's about it.
And you're at Khaos by Design.
Chaos by Design and
K, remember.
Lidia Juice and and Raven.
And Raven.
And
Yeah.
Cat over there.
Yep, and we have our guest
Who
artist.
is Elf ears on?
Oh yeah, she's adorable.
Yes.
She is absolutely adorable. I love her.
Katface.
Okay, thanks very
Thank
much.
you.
And
Yeah,
we have
thank
to
you
get
so
out
much,
of here.
guys.
This Krampus is going to catch us.
Run away.
and- We're going to run away. See you later. Check it out.